Now we have the ErinEarth story, which is that third window, and it begins 120 years later in the 1990s. And at that time there's a creeping unease that begins to spread throughout our planet. You start to hear terms like global warming, biodiversity extinction, and the need for food security. And it dawns on us that our planet is fragile and finite. Even at a local level, Wagga City Council became seriously worried because of the salinity issue, because the clearing of the land on the hillsides caused the water table to rise. So the roads, building foundations and agricultural land are starting to be affected. We began to realise that social justice, or a right relationship between people, is not enough. We need to live in right relationship with humans, yes, but also the whole created order. And that was a new thought for a lot of us. We had to look at animals, plants, soils, atmosphere and water as well. The social justice needed to be extended to ecological justice. And the terms community of life and living sustainably started to be used. And the words enviro and green started to appear on trucks around town. What was cynically called greenwash. Every 5 years, the sisters gathered together at what they called a chapter. And we still do that. And we determined where our most urgent needs of the particular time, we determine what the needs are and where we want to put our energy and our resources. So at the chapter of 1997, the lantern moved to another area. Kay and I put a submission to the sisters, and the sisters unanimously missioned Kay and myself to set up a centre that would, and I quote from the document, this is a bit difficult, they wanted to set up a centre that would be a place of be a place of hospitality, networking, educating and sharing of ideas, beliefs and values and resources concerned with ecological justice. So the sisters sent Kay and I off with $10,000 of seed money and a ute. And Toyota helped pay for the ute. The ErinEarth that we have today is the result of that decision of the sisters in 1997. So, from its very beginning, the project was envisaged as a community project and a community resource. To enable this, Kay and I met with the Mayor, who was at the time Peter Dale, and we gave him a vague outline of the project. I'm not sure what he thought when he saw these two women in their late 50s, and I think he might have even felt sorry for us and thought, what on earth are these women on about? He brought in his environment officer, who at the time was Sian McGee. Some of you would have well known Sian. And she said, first of all, the Mount Erin grounds were a significant contributor to the salinity of the town. That was an awful shock to our system. The second thing she said was that she hoped that we wouldn't reinvent the wheel. And she gave us a list of 32 people and their phone numbers, all working in the Wagga region in the environmental area. So we contacted every one of those 32 people. They became friends, and their wisdom and ideas were invaluable, and it's been that network that was the underpinning of the present ErinEarth. In 1999, we established a task force to determine the structure for the project. And the task force suggested that we should have a finger food dinner and workshop. And we invited the stakeholders of Wagga. We sent out invitations to the Mayor and the Wagga City Councillors, to welfare groups, education groups, men and women, people from all religious traditions and people who are not part of a church tradition. And more recently, we have a cross-section of nationalities. And some of you are here now. We have today with us the second Yazidi baby that's been born in Wagga. And here, right now somewhere. Oh, right in the front. Oh, that's lovely. Okay. The other questions people have are about funding. From the very beginning, we were blessed by donations, both monetary and in kind, by many businesses, community groups and individuals across the community. We were given bales of lucerne hay. We were given mulch, concrete, and in the very early days, 20 tonnes of chook manure came from Griffith, with quite a few dead chooks among it, in the time of the Newcastle disease. But possibly the most significant was the extraordinary gift of the use of bulldozers, backhoes and forklifts as needed. And some of the people concerned are here with us today. There were the little grants, the larger grants, and they were all so important. And here I'd like to particularly thank Kildare College and Wagga Wagga City Council, who have been such a support to ErinEarth over the years. And right up until now, the management board has always had ex officio members on it from Wagga Wagga City Council and from Kildare College. The major donor has been the Presentation Sisters, who have been the primary backstop since the 1997 chapter. And they will continue to fund this new body for some years ahead as it finds its feet. Today we have Sister Judith Colhagen from Sydney, who represents our Presentation Sister leadership team. Now a little bit about the management structure. In 2002, the sisters invited 12 men and women with most diverse backgrounds to form a management board and to guide the ErinEarth project To those people who have been on our board across the last 20 years nearly, we are so grateful. They have guided the project up to this next quite extraordinary phase. Now, for some years, like most groups of sisters in the Western world, we as Presentation Sisters have been aware that we will come to the end. Excuse me. I didn't expect this to happen, but yeah, it's exciting and sad. It's all right. We come to the end of the phase of our life. So we began planning for that, and the planning has been most meticulous. To our surprise and utter delight, the management board made the generous and brave decision to become an incorporated board, to take on the running of ErinEarth and become ErinEarth Inc. And excuse me, but I have to find a handkerchief. That's not a handkerchief. It's all right, I've got one. Thank you. Oh dear. Isn't it funny? You're so confident and then you don't know that underneath there are a few tears. So So they're going to take over the entire running of ErinEarth for the future. I've talked about the volunteers and the board. Tissue. And this morning I'd also like to recognise with a grateful heart the staff that have been part of our story over these years. With Kay and myself, another of our sisters, Ros Bennett, joined the ErinEarth team. Later, the sisters employed Sue White, who patiently sorted out our finances. In 2012, Marg McKinley was appointed as assistant manager and later as manager. And Marg, with Judith Foley, carried ErinEarth during the endless meetings and planning for this transition phase. And now we come to this new phase. Kaz O'Leary and Tina de Jong. Kaz and Tina bring backgrounds of being land care coordinators, park rangers, and environmental education. Social media's terms of Facebook, blogs and Twitter are now part and parcel of the ErinEarth office. It's a new ball game. This is the next generation and the generation after that. Kaz and Tina's professionalism, passion and compassion are energising, exciting, and it is with great hope and gratitude that the presentation sisters will be able to hand on that lantern that was carried through the streets of Cork so many years ago. Thank you.